You may disagree, but up to me, it's a fact. They're paying running backs, it ain't no fun in that. Yeah, the sermon about to start, so I hope you know your stats. And if Kev get it wrong, then Rashad gon' have his back with the facts. Matter of fact, all we do is say wins. When wings, congregation say amen. Trades, debates, wins.
Welcome to Preach Care, Preach with Rashad. Here in episode, another sermon coming at you from Wildcard Sports. Here on Wildcard TV, another Prophet Playoff Theory episode. Rashad, what's going on, man?
Not much, bro. What we going into, this is week 2 of the preseason.
Yeah,
we're going into week 2 of the preseason, man. So we're in our 4th division, AFC East. Almost halfway through, man. So NFC. We going. Yeah,
NFC.
my bad. I'm jumping around.
Hey,
NFC,
hey,
man. Hey, last year the NFC least.
I'm about to say this division had no winners. Nobody above 500. That's sad. That's real sad. I'll say this. DC, they took Bucks. They had Bucks on the ropes in the playoffs, though.
Yo, big Heineke, man.
Heineke watch. They was doing it. Dallas, Dak Prescott was on like at the end of the season. He still was like top 20 in passing yards.
Bro, that's crazy, man. That show you how many injuries and how many terrible QBs it was, but also at the same time, it show you how much the Cowboys was just airing it out. Because they were playing from behind in so many games. Like they came back and beat the Falcons. That was a crazy game. Yeah. I think we had a bet on that game that the Cowboys would win that game. It was something crazy.
It was something crazy. Yeah. We got lucky on that one. Yeah. That's just man, the NFC, it's just we know one thing's true. If you win the division, you don't win in the next year. So we might
that's been a trend for I'm trying to think how long. Like everything, at least like 15, even for a while.
Yeah.
And they were running through it, getting to the NFC Championship a lot of years back to back. But after that run Andy had with McNabb, and then I think the Vic year, everything kind of started just being revolving door. Like if you won that year, the following year you were third or fourth.
Third or fourth, right? Exactly. Yeah. So we might want to start with the division winner team. That's the Washington football team. A nickname maybe next year. And so on this, I'm gonna call them Team DC. 79 last year. Alex Smith came back from traumatic injury. He played a little bit. You had Heineke out here putting the team on his back though. Scared Terry over there. Gibson. You got number 99 problems. Chase Young, man. Incredible. We talked about Myles Garrett in the AFC North episode. We talked about Clowney, man, but this guy Chase Young, that's a whole nother monster, man. I don't know.
That's an animal.
That man's crazy. But DC, man, net said 79 last year. Vegas says 8.5 this year. So pretty much in the same ballpark as last year. They bring over Ryan Fitzpatrick at quarterback. I think that was very key. And they get another pass catcher in Curtis Samuel, who we saw his role kind of like diminished last year. Robert Anderson got there to Carolina, but now that he's on the team DC, almost messed up again. I think the offense can be something, and that's really all you need. The offense can be. We talked about last time. We talked about Tennessee Titans in the AFC South episode, and saying if the defense can be in the middle, then they can go far. I feel like the same thing with DC, except reverse, where the offense can be so far and right in the middle, they can go far. So what you got to say about DC?
Man, this is a very, very interesting team. The Ron Rivera impact is real. They were 3-13, and then he comes on. You make a 4-game improvement, going to 7-9. That's not the best record to claim a division title, but you still claimed it.
But you claimed it, yeah.
They had a wild year, man. They were on like a 5-game losing streak early in the year. Then they went on I think it was a 4-game winning streak. So, they were kind of having an up and down year. They went through, I think it was 4 QBs last year. They had Heineke, Alex Smith, Kyle Allen.
I forgot they started with Haskins.
It
slipped my mind.
They had Haskins, Kyle Allen from the Carolina days. Alex Smith, and then of course Heineke played the playoff game. So they went through a lot, man. Win streaks, losing streaks, revolving door of QBs, and they still managed to get 7 wins, made the playoffs as the division winner, and push the eventual champions to really I think that was probably the closest game, really. I mean, the Green Bay game was good too versus the Bucs, but I mean, I still think that DC put up the toughest fight against them, just based upon expectations. Also, that was a tough, a tough battle. But let's give DC some props. You know, they've changed a lot, man. They made some good draft picks. They had a good draft. They brought on William Jackson, the corner. So they're making some moves to go in the right direction. Brought on Curtis Samuel. And then you already mentioned the signing of Ryan Fitzpatrick, who came in for Tua, and he kept the Dolphins afloat for a while and really helped propel them to their 10-win season. So Ryan Fitzpatrick is older. I think it's year 17, year 18 for him. So let's see what else he has in the tank. If it doesn't work out, they may be in the same boat they were last year. They can just start rotating QBs. They still have Heineke and them guys there. So you got Curtis Samuel, who he can make a couple of passes, make a couple of plays, couple of passes for you too. So it's going to be an interesting year for DC, man. I think their biggest downfall could be their willingness to get the vaccination. They've been in the news about that. They're one of the teams who have been given some pushback about that. We know Ron Rivera he was diagnosed with cancer and everything like that. So I think their biggest thing is going to be, can their team withstand the pandemic with the multiple variants and stuff like that? Because they have the talent. I mean, their front seven is one of the nastiest front sevens in the league. Offensively, they're coming around. Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Gibson, and pretty much you're only missing an actual QB that you can grow with. So I think if they can withstand all 32 teams, if they can withstand the variants of COVID-19, of course, of Ron Rivera, if his health prevails and things like that, they could be a problem to be reckoned with this season.
Yeah, and the Washington team is similarly built to the 49ers, where the whole front four is all first-round draft picks: Chase Young, Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. You still got Matt Ioannidis, a good rotational piece. And then you got Cole Holcomb at linebacker, man. He be leading the league in like tackles every single year that nobody talk about. He was a rookie last year. So, and you mentioned the William Jackson. Man, now you got 2 corners who can really like put the clamps on you with Landon in the back. Man, it's a good roster put together, man. I took a peek at this schedule. So, like I said, we talked about Vegas having 8.5. You're playing. You got Kansas City on your ticket, so you got the AFC West because you won the division. This is show you how good DC can be. You got a first place schedule at 7-9, so you're getting New Orleans, who doesn't have Drew Brees, but you play the NFC South, so you don't get dug that, but you get Green Bay on your schedule. And who's the other division I'm looking at? NFC West. So who won last year? The Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle, so now you add Seattle and Green Bay instead of your counterparts who's going to get the Detroits, the Cardinals, Chicago, at least lesser teams of that caliber, right? So that could play a role in how far Washington can go. But you mentioned the QB carousel, and if you have Fitzpatrick, if you have the floor of Fitzpatrick and the ceiling of Fitzmagic, this team can go pretty far. Now, if you get the floor of Fitz tragic, now that's a different story. But when you got start the season versus the Chargers, Giants start the season off. That's 2 teams that you can win the game. That you at least you have the roster to compete with. You got at Buffalo start the season, so it's you have different track records and see how far can we go. I like Washington a lot actually. I'm on the side that goes to over. I think 8.5. Basically 9 and 8 is what they're saying. I'm gonna go one spot over that, 10-7. I think when you talk about their division, with the teams that we're gonna talk about later on, it's called the NFC Least for a reason. So You're not in the NFC West that's stacked up. You're not in the AFC North we talked about already that's stacked up. So you have games in your division that you can cling to and say, if we can go 5-1, we're pretty much going to have 8-9 wins.
Yeah, schedule wise, I'm right there with you. I think they could definitely hit their over. I'm not sure why, outside of the QB situation, why Vegas only has them at 8.5. So they're basically putting them as a 500 team. Yeah, they do have a lot of tough games on the road. I would say, you're going to go to Buffalo. That's a tough one. You're going to go to Green Bay.
Right.
Denver has a solid roster, so you're going to go to Denver. Like that's 3 tough road games.
That's that Mile High Stadium.
Yeah, and then I even think their roster's not that great, but because of it is Vegas, that's a potentially tough road game. And then, of course, you're going to play teams like Kansas City, Tampa Bay, and Seattle. So things like that, I can see why you could see some games going either way where they could have 6 to 8 losses. But I'm right there with you, man. I think they could get 10 wins. Of course, the division, we're anticipating the division will be better. I'm not going to say it will be, but we're at least anticipating it will be better with the return of Dak Prescott. The Giants, another year under Joe Judge, Saquon Barkley back. They made some nice free agent moves. They re-signed a couple of guys. So we're anticipating the division will be tougher. So some of the wins they got division-wise last year, those could regress. But I still think they're a 10-win ball club, and I would put them down for the over if I was making a bet on Washington.
Yeah, we'll revisit the Washington later on the show. But I'll leave with this. I'll probably say, like you mentioned it, the only problem wrong with them is they don't have the QB to grow with. Fitzpatrick is more of a placeholder, so we'll see what the future holds there.
Hey, for the future, man, they could be in a good spot because you got to start thinking about a lot of QBs are kind of going to be in, I don't want to say turmoil, but there are a lot of QBs that could be hitting the market soon. You got 49ers drafting Trey Lance, so that could push Jimmy G out the door. So that could be a piece for you.
Jimmy,
we don't know. We don't know what direction the Raiders are going in, but at some point, the John Gruden, Derek Carr pairing may just kind of wither out.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, so Matt Ryan could be in play because the Falcons are not their time to retool. So I think DC, as long as they stay pretty flexible cap-wise, they will have a chance to maybe go get someone in a trade or through free agency at some point and maybe snag a steady QB, and they could be a contender going forward. But right now, they're trying to figure it out, but their roster is just so good, they're going to be competitive.
All right, let's go to a team in the big market, New York Football Giants. Danny Dimes, I don't even know if he can still rock that name until he had to prove that he's more consistent, a consistent starter in his league. I think this is, all the eyes on him this year. They bringing Kenny Golladay with him, Saquon back healthily. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Evan Ingram. But what did they do? They brought in some great assurance in Kyle Rudolph, who has been, a consistent tight end in the NFL for a very long time with the Minnesota Vikings. Still got Sterling Shepard there, and Darius Slayton. So you got if you talk about a dream weaponry like around you, that's kind of like what you want. You got an elite back. You got Golladay might not be the Devontae Adams and the Mike Evans of the world, but as far as big body, he's definitely up there, tier 2, tier 3 type of receiver. With the tight ends, you got really two good ones. And so, the Giants, the main thing is the defense side of the ball, which they brought in Adoree Jackson from the Titans. I think that was a huge signing. They got a little nasty up front, and with bringing back Leonard Williams and stuff like that. So this team, they're rising. They're building 6-10 last year. You're building, and it's like one of the things you just gotta stay the course. And whether the playoff theory likes the Giants or not is like, okay, well, next year it may look better, and the year after that it may look better. It just all depends on growth and if whether guys step up to the plate.
The time for the Giants is now. Dave Gettleman took over the end of 2017. Under his general manager's stint, they're 15-33. Not really good. I mean, that's not good. You just mentioned this past year they were 6-10. Granted, they did finish strong. Their 6 wins, they went 5-3 to finish the season, so they were terrible early on. This is probably the worst stretch of Giants football in their entire history, honestly. I mean, they have I think it's 6 of the last 7 years or 7 of the last 8 years, they've had double-digit losses.
Yeah. Oof.
So they haven't been in a good place. It's been a tough 4 to 5 year period for them. But let's just see if right now they can put it together and turn it around. They believe in Daniel Jones. That was he's had a controversial tenure since he's been a Giant. You know, they depending upon who you ask, they pushed Eli out, and then now he comes in and he hasn't really met expectations that were set for him, whether that's because it's the Giants or because he's following Eli. But he's been very turnover prone and he has not met expectations. So we got to see. This is like a make or break a year for Daniel Jones. There's really no excuse. They are giving him multiple weapons. They drafted Saquon Barkley. He's going to be coming off an injury, but with all the ways that guys can rehab and train now, you're expecting Saquon to come back and at least be a 1,200-yard back. You mentioned the sign of Kenny Golladay. You still have Slayton, who Jones has great chemistry with. Sterling Shepard. You went and got an insurance policy at tight end. They have a solid O-line, and defensively they made great improvements. So this should be a solid team. When you on paper, it should be a solid team. But we know the games aren't played on paper. Yeah. And let's just see what Joe Judge can do for year 2. Can he improve the team from 6-10 to maybe 8-9, 9-8?
I'm about to say this team also drafted Tony from Florida. I know he's pretty fast. You still got they brought up John Ross, giving him another shot. So you got it's like a lot of underrated moves that they're really making. Logan Ryan in the secondary after drafting McKinney from Alabama last year. This team is like when you try to nitpick at the roster, like it don't really have too many holes. Guys are young in it, but like it's like okay. Oh yeah, we might not have the superstar of the position, but hey, we're coming. Like I said, you just gotta be patient with the Giants, and like you said, the time is now. But it's like okay, if they can be 8-8 or 8-9, should I say, and then make a 9-8 somewhere around there, then it's 2 years from now. This should be a team that can run the division. I think if Joe Judge is that guy, which so far he seemed to be solid. So I can't say he's great, can't say he's bad either way. So we'll see. We'll see about the Giants, man. I think this team got what it takes to make a push. It just like can they? Because Vegas has them 7 wins. You got them with 8 wins. I got them with 6. So we're right there in the same.
We're on the same
ballpark with Vegas. So and it's crazy because I actually had them going 1-4 in their last 5 games. So it's like okay, and it's like I could be wrong about that because you got going 3-2. So it's a lot of different things, man, for the Giants. And can they right the ship? Daniel Jones, man, I think is all on him.
Yeah, they have a B-level roster. Like you said, when you start looking through it, they don't really have too many glaring holes. I mean, no roster outside of maybe the Bucks and the Browns and Ravens. No roster is perfect. And even with the Ravens, we pick at their receivers and stuff like that. So. No roster is perfect, but the Giants, they have a B-level roster in my opinion. Schedule-wise, they do have a few scheduling breaks. You're gonna get Denver at home. That's key because we know no matter who the QB is, going to Denver is always gonna be a tough game. They have a solid
Can't
roster.
Breathe.
So you get a scheduling break with that. You get Atlanta at home, even though it's early. That's Atlanta still. Is new head coach, and they don't really have a great defense. So that could be a 45-42 shootout type of game. And their road games are brutal, so they didn't catch a break on that.
Yeah,
but they did catch a break on some certain places you don't want to go, like Denver. But man, you have New Orleans on the road, Kansas City on the road, the Bucks on the road. You're gonna go to Miami, then to the Chargers on back-to-back weeks, and then
you have a lot of fun. That
you have to end your season. You get Dallas at home, on the road to Philly, on the road to Chicago, and then you get DC at home. So that is where
it's tough.
The Vegas bet can probably cash in or miss right there.
Right there.
From after their bye, you're gonna be praying every week.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's crazy. We got the same stretch of games. The Giants just can't buy a win early in the season. We got on a 5-game losing streak. I thought it was pretty funny how we mapped that out. but the Giants are going to be there. I still think that you can't walk into New York or when they come to your city and say, "Oh, we're just going to mop the floor with them," because you saw, I think last year, I think they played Tampa last year and played them tough. I think that was last year when they played them pretty tough, and it's a team that could make some noise. I think they can be just like the Carolina Panthers, where they be a pain in the ass, and whether you beat them, you probably do, but you be like, man, I'm a little sore from that. That's like I said, I think it's all on the development of Daniel Jones. So we'll see if he can rise the team to the occasion, and if they can stay healthy. I think that's a huge part for the Giants.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is going to be the key. He's led the league in fumbles since he's came into the league. You can't keep fumbling the ball. Whether you lose the fumble or not, you just can't do that, because when the ball is knocked out, you fumble the ball, you're backing your team up 5, 10, 15 yards, and you lost it down. Yeah. So, and of course, if you lost the fumble, another team just got good field position off of that. So he has to cut down on the turnovers. Like that'll bury any team.
Yeah, that's the problem. All right, let's go. Let's move on to a team down the road from them, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll say this, man. Can I be real with you, Rashad?
Hey, I'm not an Eagles fan, so I don't care.
But they sorry. They sorry as hell. Like they sorry. Like, and I'm sorry to any Eagles fans hearing this. I know we kind of crapping on the Pennsylvania teams. Like, I know people, Steelers fans probably still mad about the AFC North episode, but at least you're not Philly. They sorry. Like everywhere. Like, I mean, yeah, Lane Johnson still there, Jason Kelce and Brandon Brooks on the O line. Yeah. Yeah, you got Fletcher Cox in the D tackle. Yeah. But man, everywhere else, I'm not impressed. I am not. This roster could have been so much different if the GM knew what he was doing. Yeah, you fired Doug Peterson, who I don't really like, but you giving what Nick, I think it's Sirianni. I can't say his last name, but you giving him the coach OC from last year the reins to come back home and see what he can do. But you killed the relationship with Carson Wentz. Your defense never got right. You never got the linebacker situation. The corners you paid big. My fault. Little play Slay over here all this money and you still ain't stopping nobody. So I don't know where they're going, and it's crazy. I love Devonta Smith. I would say the Eagles got that right as far as receivers this time. Arcega-Whiteside drafted him over DK Metcalf, drafting Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. But I think this time they got it right as a receiver, and it's crazy because he might be the best player they got.
Man, it's gonna be bad in Philly.
They about to riot.
I'm looking at all the rosters right now, and Philly is definitely, I think they're going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the league this year.
Yep, and that's what Vegas got them at.
Yeah, I think they're going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the league this year. Of course, we already said what we said about the Texans.
The Jags.
I think Jags are going to be better than the Eagles.
I can roll with that. I think they could be very similar. Yeah,
I have no faith in the Eagles at all. Devontae Smith is a good pickup.
He's the best player.
I still like Jalen Reagor. I still like him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
And then like just Jalen Hurts is so hard to not like. Like Jalen Hurts is a guy you root for. And
yeah, okay, yeah.
Like he's a guy you root for, want to see him succeed. But I think he's gonna be in for a very, very long year.
He's a great fantasy football quarterback.
I mean,
not really
because he can run and throw, and they're gonna be down
so much
in most games. Just looking at their schedule, man. If they lose week 1 to the Falcons, they're starting 0-4.
Yep. 49ers, Dallas, Kansas City. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so if they lose to the Falcons on the road week 1, they will start 0-4. And the Carolina game, I think Carolina's more talented. That's still a toss-up. And then you're going to go play the Bucks.
Lost.
You could be looking at an 0-6 start potentially. Potentially. I'm not saying I'm not saying lock it in, but you could be looking at an 0-6 start and a new head coach starting like that.
Like
you may lose the locker room immediately.
I ain't gonna say lock it in, but you can go and put the lock around the latch. Like you can that's how close it's gonna be. Like, cause if they lose to Atlanta and lose to Carolina, 0-6, and I can see that. I can very well see it happening. If there's we gotta find those odds again when the Eagles get their first win. Cause I'll put it at Detroit or at Raiders maybe.
Bro, I'm willing to go. They could possibly start off 0-7 because if you lose to the Falcons, I don't see you beating 49ers. I think Dallas is just better. You won't beat Kansas City. Carolina is just based upon paper. I think Carolina's more talented, so Carolina could win this game. The Bucks are just way better. They could obliterate you. And then you're going to make a cross-country trip to Vegas. If you're sitting at 0-6, what do the guys got to look forward to outside of going to Vegas?
Gamble, strip club.
So it's possible you can even start off 0-7. I just think it's going to be a long year in Philly. I don't think the fans are going to be happy. I don't think the fans are going to be happy at all.
No, they're going to ride. They're going to ride for real.
If the coach starts off that bad and then your message starts to get lost in the locker room, if guys start to not believe in Jalen Hurts or something like that, it can get really, really bad in Philly.
You got Joe Cool back there now. He'll keep it cool now with some L's, but he'll keep it cool a little bit there.
I don't think Joe Flacco would answer this.
I don't believe. I don't even know why.
Philly might go and start preparing themselves for the draft. I like Jalen Hurts. I don't want to see him lose his job. But if they have a bad year and Hurts struggles, you might as well go and start putting on the board Spencer Rattler and a couple other guys that's coming out next year.
What's the dude from North Carolina, Sam Howell? Yeah, we get into that. We get into that point with the Eagles. I don't want to kill the Eagles too much, but we both have them Vegas at 6.5. We both under on that, so I think that's pretty comfortable. If Rashad's saying he'd like the Jaguars better than the Eagles, hey, that's when you hit rock bottom. I mean, they won 4 games last year, and that was with inconsistent QB play. And I don't think
I only cut y'all, but like the only teams I'm willing to say they are just clear cut better than is the Lions and Texans. Those are the only 2 teams I'm willing to say they are clear cut better than. Because after that, I would debate Jets versus Eagles.
Woo.
I would debate it.
Damn, we get to that point. Oh my God. Oh my God. We getting to that point. That's
I would take the Bengals over the Eagles.
My God.
I'm taking Jaguars over Eagles.
Well, Eagles tied with Bengals last year, so you right there with you right. They tied last year, so you right. Oh my God, that's sad. Okay, I'm gonna call Kevin, man, and see if he answered the phone real quick. We get into this last team. Hey, that's crazy, yo. That's crazy. I'm with you though. I'm definitely with you. Yo.
Devo, what it do, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
We're here with Kevin Calera from the Bottom Line Podcast, man. What's going on with you, man? We hear the Prophet Theory, man, talking about the NFC East. Rashad just went out on a limb, and I don't know how bad it was. He said it's only two teams in the NFL that's clear cut that the Eagles are better than. Just two. And that's Texans and who
Detroit Lions.
and the Detroit Lions, man. That's
Detroit Lions. Yep, that's if there was gonna be two, it was definitely those two. Yeah, guys, Philly is bad.
I'm glad you agree.
Philly is really bad. I mean, Jacksonville is still pretty bad as well, but Philly is bad, guys. Like, I don't care what videos come out about Jalen Reagor and Patriots. I don't care. Like, Philly's not good.
Let's all right, so you know the private theory already. Top two quarterback, top two coaches, basically the start of a team's they're going to be a lock in the playoffs. So we're going to start with the quarterbacks. We haven't ranked them yet, but we have gone through the teams, except your Cowboys. So I think I know who your number one is, but you can go and reveal that to me.
Yeah. So NFC East quarterbacks, Dak Prescott from the Cowboys by far. Yeah. If I had to go number two, I'm leaning Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's low key not close. It's low key not close either. Number three, I'm gonna have to say Daniel Jones, and only because I haven't seen enough Jalen. I just can't put Jalen Hurts. I mean, I really don't. You could really go either way with them, but we just talked about how bad the Eagles are. So I would definitely go Daniel Jones third, and Jalen Hurts fourth.
Yeah, I mean that's my exact rankings right there. So I think Rashad, you got Daniel Jones 2 with Fitzpatrick 3, but is that probably because he got a low floor of Fitztragic?
Yeah, I'm right there with Kev because it could be a week Ryan Fitzpatrick is the second best quarterback, and it could be the week he third or fourth. Daniel, my only reason for putting Daniel Jones second is because he runs and throws, because both of them are turnover prone. So I just gave Daniel Jones the edge because he has to run with the ball.
Yeah, I am not a Jalen Hurts guy right now. I feel like because Lamar Jackson is what Jalen Hurts aspired to be. You got to be that great, and if Jalen is, then I guess the Eagles will be better than what we thought. But I just don't right now see it happening.
Jalen Hurts is going to end up being Tyrod Taylor all over again, which can win you games and can get teams that ain't made the playoffs and serve a chance, but also get you passed around. That's where I see Jalen Hurts. I just don't like, or Russell Wilson, and I just don't see Russell Wilson. So I gotta say Tyrod Taylor.
Let's go to the coaches. I think so. Me and Rashad actually had the exact same ranking, and I'll go through ours real quick. We have one. We had Ron Rivera. Last year we had him third, and we was totally wrong about that. Second we have Mike McCarthy. Third we have Joe Judge, and then 4 we got, I cannot say his last name, Nick Sirianni from the Colts, offensive coordinator. I think that's pretty close.
Yep, that's my exact 4.
So, Rashad, I'm gonna give you the floor for the coaches real quick.
Division-wise, McCarthy is second. But amongst the league, where are we going to rank McCarthy as a head coach? Is he in the top half of the league?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
And this is coming from somebody who is a Cowboys fan. Right. So, where would you rank him at? How many guys do you think are clear-cut better than McCarthy?
I mean, McCarthy is probably bottom. He's probably bottom 10.
Damn.
Ooh.
Bottom 10.
Eagles coach. I feel like Robert Saleh from the Jets is probably a better coach than Mike McCarthy as well.
He hasn't even coached the game yet.
Hasn't coached the game yet. Exactly.
That's funny.
Because also Chris Rashad, who Dallas, I think he'd have made a better coach than Mike McCarthy. He's very much he's got a lot of Jason Garrett in him, in the sense that he doesn't really have much backbone. The strong coaches, the Mike Tomlins, the Herm Edwards, Jerry Jones don't want those guys. So I automatically assume that if you are getting hired by Jerry Jones, you're not going to be any more than average. And he's not. I mean, like you said, he's second in the division, but like it's not second in the division is not saying nothing because the coaches in the division suck, except for Rivera, in my opinion. So like, I'm putting them bottom 10, and bottom 10 could be 20 or 22. Bottom 10 could be 26. But outside of the Eagles, outside of I don't know what's going on in Houston.
Oh yeah, he definitely last.
I can't put
My fault.
I can't put Urban Meyer ahead of Mike McCarthy just yet. But I mean, if I'm just looking down the list, and I can't put the Giants, I mean Joe Judge ahead of him either. But that's 4. You know, I mean Brown.
Let's do a quick little segment. Then.
We can. All right. So Carolina, Matt Rule,
right.
Matt
Rule or Mike McCarthy.
Who you taking?
I'll probably go Mike McCarthy from that rule.
Okay.
Cliff Kingsbury.
Who?
Cliff Kingsbury, Arizona Cardinals head coach.
Oh Jesus. I'll probably go Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
John Gruden.
Give me Gruden.
Okay.
Give me Gruden. I think that Raiders roster. I mean, they're gonna do the thing they do every year. They're gonna start 5-3 and 7-9, but they are their roster wise, especially on defense. They really should be like 4-12. I guess now 4-13 every year. So I take Gruden over McCarthy.
Okay. I know damn well.
Zach Taylor from Bengals.
Hey, watch out. Watch out. That man got 6 wins in 2. No way.
Yeah.
Hey, look, McCarthy didn't do much with the Cowboys last year. I'm just saying.
That's crazy though, because like Rashad is definitely coming through with the names like that I didn't even think about when I said bottom 10. But I would take McCarthy over Zach Taylor. Like I said, I would go on a limb with Jets coach. Obviously, like the whole AFC East, in my opinion, is better. The whole NFC West, in my opinion, is better. The whole NFC North, in my opinion. I mean, I think Matt Nagy is better. Than McCarthy.
Oh, hold on now, before you get too far now.
Dan Campbell.
Man, where you take a Dan?
Well, all right. I forgot. There's like 7 new coaches this year. Like
yeah.
Coaches, so I guess they all got to be below him by default.
Hey, that's funny.
Dan Campbell, but he be speaking. He
be saying crazy.
If you want a coach that can make you believe, he'll make you believe now. He's taking kneecaps and whatever else he's doing, but he make you want to play for him. Make you want to run through a wall. So who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. So all right. We'll say he's bottom half of the league.
Yeah, I think 20 is a good spot. 20 to 22, like you said, almost bottom 10, maybe that range. Before we let you go, let's talk about the Cowboys going into the season. So we said McCarthy the second best coach. We said Dak is the best quarterback, and you said it's about 4. So when we talk about like in this division where DC won with 7 wins, you're talking about having a quarterback that when you had this advantage over, I'll say this, one of the worst divisions in the league, like he should be able to take you over the top, right? And if that's the case with the roster that Cowboys have, and with the schedule that you're going to have now, when you have a 3rd place schedule instead of your 1st or your 2nd, instead of getting Green Bay or Seattle, you mess around and get Arizona because 49ers going to be sorry last year. So you kind of get a little lucky with the scheduling. So with all those things coming together, like how far do you got the Cowboys going?
You're absolutely right. 3rd place schedule, and they only lost the division by 1 game. And with the best quarterback by far, the 2nd best coach. If your theory stands true, which is what we got, the 75%, 80%, what was it? That y'all were at last year. But,
total wise, it was slightly above 75.
Slightly above 75. So So honestly, I feel like the division is Dallas. Dallas has a very, very. I mean, it's going to be a difficult road, but you're talking. I mean, like you said, you don't have to play Seattle, and you get to skip San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get Arizona, who is improved. You know, you got Minnesota, but you avoid the Rams and you avoid Seattle, right? You avoid. You don't play Tampa. Well, yes, you do. Oh, you play the whole division.
But at least it's week one. Go and get out of the way.
Yeah. No, but every game that the football team, the Giants, and the Eagles should win, Dallas should win too. Dallas shouldn't be losing to Philly. That should be 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas shouldn't really be losing to New York. That should be 2 wins. So that's 4. And now you're talking about Washington. If they were to split, you talk about 5-1 in the division. But I honestly don't think. I know Washington has, some good playmakers. They got great D line, but it's not like outside of that D line, which makes so much go. I mean, we're talking about it's the Cowboys team who, barring injury, last year they had two games where the whole starting line played together. Leon Collins didn't play at all, but Tyron Smith only played 2 games and missed both tackles all year. Zach Martin, who never gets hurt, he got hurt. There's no Travis Frederick. He was hurt. You're talking about a fully healthy team. I don't really see why there's nobody who has enough secondary to defend these 3 receivers.
Probably nobody.
If the line stays healthy, there's nobody who, my quarterback, nobody got the secondary to just, shut him down. I really don't see how Dallas doesn't squeak out 8-9 wins this year just off of getting 6 or 5 in the division alone. So the guy's got to be Dallas. I feel like if you're not picking them to win the division, you are overselling how bad their defense is. Because I think their defense needs work, but I don't think that it's quite as bad as people make it out to be.
You go ahead, bro.
I'm with Kevin. So I got a pencil in as 11 wins. And we're talking about games that they probably going to lose. I have y'all losing at Tampa Bay. I actually have you beating at Kansas City. I just feel like but I feel like y'all the team that gonna beat Kansas City, be all over the news like you always are, and then you mess around and lose to Las Vegas. Like you know what I'm saying. So it kind of it always balances out, right? But like you mentioned, when you have everybody there, the receiving core is probably the best in the league. Like if you can debate it as far as a receiver trio with Gallup and Cooper and Lamb. If Lamb becomes this sensation that we see in every highlight every single day,
I'm taking Bucks over them.
Yeah. I can give you the Bucks too. It's just if Lamb just become this superstar overnight, and I'm not gonna say overnight because he actually showed a lot of signs last year, but if Lamb just take that leap of bounds and you're saying, oh, Cooper the highest paid player at receiver, but he's not the best receiver we got, and with Dak Prescott and Zeke, oh my God, this is just the writing on the wall. And last year we had Cowboys win the division. If that didn't go down, there's no way they don't win. They don't win the division because Dalton was trash, and they still was 1 game away.
Dalton, Garrett Gilbert, Ben DiNucci, these quarterbacks playing for Dallas, man. 1 game, come on, there's no. I'm sorry, I don't see any game where Dallas doesn't put up 24 points, at least. And do I trust Daniel Jones to give me 24 every single game? No. And when you think about it, Daniel Jones is going to give the other team 7, whether it's a pick 6 or a turnover that reverts to 7.
That's
so
fair.
Really, it's 31. And I don't see it. This Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm sorry. I don't care, guys. We really think Ryan Fitzpatrick is about to lead Washington to a division.
Hey man, if Tyler Heineke can do it.
Bro.
Hey, I think the Cowboys gonna cowboy a little bit. I have Washington finishing up at 10 wins, and I have the Cowboys finishing at 11. So that's basically saying I think the Cowboys will come down to the last game against Philly to win the division.
They better. This time, the past where they come down to the last game to win the division, they lost. But they cannot let that down because Eagles.
Rashad,
Eagles.
You're absolutely right,
man.
You're absolutely right, Rashad. The Cowboys will cowboy. It will be close. Shouldn't be, but it will be close. But if you have to say, hey, we get Philly, win and we in. Philly, we just talked about it's the third worst team in the league. Philly, if you can't beat Philly, then I stand by my original statement, which is Mike McCarthy is bottom 10. He might be bottom 5. If you can't beat Philly, I don't care what the record is. If you can't beat Philly last week of the season to get in, I don't hear nothing. You got to go.
All right, scale of 1 to 10. How hot is McCarthy's seat if they don't win the division or make the playoffs? But 10 being the hottest.
With 10 being the hottest. If they don't win the division, but they make the playoffs, like let's say Washington wins 11, they win 10, they're a wild card. I don't think this seat is very hot at all. I'd probably give it like a 3. If they pull some stuff and they don't win the division, and it's like bad, like they lose by like 2 games, like it was over by week 15 type stuff. They're gonna have a top 12 pick, like top 10 pick. His seat got to be like the 8.5. It has to be because Jerry Jones just dished out all this money. Dak, Zeke, Coop, all the linemen, they get paid. Jalen Smith, like all this money. Like somebody's got to start winning something, and this is ridiculous. And we fired Jason Garrett for that. Like you have to be an upgrade for Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett at least won the division twice, so you got to be an upgrade from that. And if you're not winning the division, you can't win with the best quarterback. Like I said, by far, every game you go into, with the exception of like 4 this year, you have the best quarterback on the field. Week 1. You have the best quarterback on the field. I don't care what people say about Super Bowl ring and this, that, the third. Week 1, you have the best quarterback on the field. Every game, 65, 70% of the games you go into this year, you got the best quarterback on the field. You can't win your division with Washington, Philly, and New York. You got to go 8.5 at the bottom end, probably 9.5.
That answers the question right there.
Because I'm just wondering, man. Like of course they had the bad year last year. They fired the D coordinator, so they're kind of retooling the coaching staff. You're gonna get Dak back, but the NFC is tough. I mean, there's probably 10 teams we could say have a legit shot at the playoffs. 4 of them from the NFC West, depending upon how it just shakes out.
Right.
You gotta say Bucks. You gotta say Packers, Minnesota. And then, of course, you got to go with Cowboys, DC, and maybe the Giants if they have a breakthrough year. So you're looking at 10, 11 teams fighting for 7 spots. And if it goes left in Dallas, I'm wondering, how will we look at the Mike McCarthy hire?
If Dak plays 17 games and they can't get in, I can see Kevin's point about when you're walking on the field, you got the best. Like you said, if Rashad, if you say you're taking the Bucks, it's not that many teams you saying before you take the Cowboys receiver trio. It's not many running backs you're going to say before you say Zeke. When you're ranking offensive linemen, you're not going to say a lot before you get to Cowboys, and that's all on one side of the ball, right? So what Kevin's talking about, the defense, that's going to be your biggest problem. And if the emergence of Trayvon Diggs and you drafted what's the guy from Penn State, Michael Parsons. You got the linebackers. If you just, we'll say about the Titans, if you just stay middle of the pack on defense, that should be all it should take. Like you ain't gotta be the purple people eaters or the Baltimore Ravens and Ray Lewis to win this division. So as long as they 16, you just gotta lean the Cowboys.
Now,
go ahead.
At the same time, it ain't like Mike Nolan really be coaching no defense. Let's not act like he be out here.
Now you got Dan Quinn. So see, the Seattle tree back. Seattle scheme. Everybody love that crap for some reason.
That thing's kind of played out though, low key. But think about this: if they do everything they're supposed to do, like I mentioned in the division, that's 5-1. So now you think about the toss-up games, or think about the other games on their schedule they should win. They need to beat Carolina. They're not. That should be a win, correct? Carolina, that's 6. They need to beat Atlanta. That should be a win. I know that Atlanta. I mean, it might be 42-40, but it needs to be a win. That's 7. They have to beat Las Vegas. You have to. You can't lose to Las Vegas. That's 8. You've got to beat the Saints. There's no Drew Brees. We don't even know who's starting at quarterback. I don't see. Well, we even count that as a toss-up game. Broncos toss-up game. Well, you're already at 7 wins. And Chargers toss-up game. Even if you want to just go ahead and count the Bucs as a loss, but you're already at 7 wins. If you want to count the Chiefs as a loss, so be. But that's 3 toss-up games. You win 2 of those, you're talking about 9 wins already, and now you got Bucs, Chiefs, and Cardinals, which I guess is another toss-up game as well, where anything can happen. There's no reason why you shouldn't get 10 wins. 10 wins probably wins you this division because that means you also did well in division. Go ahead and beat a couple teams you ain't supposed to beat, like you said, Chiefs or Bucs somehow, and it's a whole different conversation. Last time, 2016, when 2016 and 2015, Romo got hurt right before Dak Prescott was drafted. They had like Matt Castle and all them playing. That defense wasn't supposed to be very good on paper either, but they were top 10 in yards, top 10 in points. So you mess around and get stuff like that, you probably should beat New England, honestly. You really should. I mean, I understand it's Bill Belichick, and the defense is going to be stout, but we're not going to sit here and tell me that Cam Newton is supposed to tear us up. Better not. Not this Cam.
Not through the air.
No, it's definitely through the air.
not through the air now.
Absolutely not. So I mean, like y'all go saying 11 wins. I'm right there with it. There's no reason why. If you don't get 11 wins, that means you drop one here and there. Like you drop one to the Giants. You shouldn't have lost. The Vikings is another toss-up game. I forgot about that one. That's another toss-up game. They've split the last 2 years. You drop one against Philly, and when you do that, it forces you to have to beat the Bucs.
You can't lose no Philly. I don't care what you got going on in your life. we can't lose to Philly.
Philly's only winning 2 or 3 games, and you can't let one of them be against you.
Yeah, that's yeah.
That might be cause for fire alone. If you lose to Philly, you might just have to be like, look, man, we're gonna have to go a different direction.
Yeah. I mean, it's so easy. Like I said, with this division, like I said last year. I mean, we had to adjust when Dak got hurt. You know, and we was wrong about Andy Dalton. You know, as far as like how good he was going to be. But this year with Dak Prescott back, and we can't predict injuries, but like you said, it's a far-gone conclusion that the roster has gotten better. Like I said, and the schedule, you just got a third place schedule. I think it does point to only 2 teams in this division, and the Giants as a distant third. But it is possible, like Rashad said about the 11 teams going forward. Giants could have a breakthrough. It's possible Danny Down just become that man, but. You know, it should be a 2-man race, Cowboys versus DC. I think DC has proven that they're just a QB away, and Cowboys proven that they have the best QB. So it's kind of like that's gonna be the part where defense gonna ride this team. This team gonna be about offense, and can the other side do just enough to win you the division, and can you make a deep run in the playoffs? I think when you come down to the NFC East, that's the underlying fact about them.
It's crazy to think because in order for Dallas and Washington to both make it, that means Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, or Niners, one of them can't. If both Washington and Dallas does. And if that's the case, who are we saying that Washington or Dallas is better than the NFC West? If the answer is Arizona, then that means the Cowboys have to win that Arizona game. Because which
right.
Come back to my point. So that's going to be something. I just know, look, they play the Eagles week 3. If they lose that game, it tells me all I need to know.
Man, what?
Week 3, Sunday night football looks like, or Monday night football. they lose that game primetime Monday Night Football against them, that's it. That's all I know. I'm done.
That's fine. And the last thing you got to say, Rashad, before we get out of here?
No, man, the Cowboys, I think they're in an interesting spot. You got to deal with Dak getting MRIs. You got McCarthy on Hard Knocks giving out these crazy speeches, all that kind of stuff. They're going to be interesting to watch every week, not only because they are the Cowboys, but I just think if something goes left, all that money Jerry Jones is spending, he gonna want a refund and he can't get it.
He gonna coach himself. So yeah, that's our private player out there for the NFC East. Eagles, y'all sorry. I just that's what it is. And I like I said, it's Washington Cowboys division, two teams that's totally opposite is how they built, and we'll see if the other side of the team can do enough. So hey, shout out UK for joining us, man. We pretty appreciate that. And we'll see y'all next time. So appreciate Rashad. Yeah.